What's up, money lovers? I recently posted a video on Facebook, now named Meta, and why I was excited about the future of this company. Today I did want to also offer up some of the bear cases against Meta, but why I still remain optimistic and one thing that I am most excited for with this company. So first, let's start off with some of the bear arguments against Facebook or Meta stock. Still taking some getting used to, is that they're losing a lot of talent. Some go as far to say that no one wants to work there. They've had a number of notable departures this year, as we can see from this article on CNBC here. Facebook lost a bunch of its talent in 2021. Here are the most notable departures, and there are quite a few. And I'll link this article down below. But what gave me some hope here was this little Twitter thread from, I believe his name is Samid. I hope that I'm saying that correctly. So Samid was one of the notable departures. He posted this on Twitter here saying, "The most common question I've gotten asked is why people who have ethical objections to Facebook conduct still work there. Well, I'm not a fan of the frame of this question, and there's no single answer. Here are some genuine reasons why people stay. Most of the time, Facebook eventually gets the ethical issues right. It might be painful to get there and take too long, but on issues I cared about, I'd estimate 90% of the time, Facebook landed in a reasonable place. The last 10% were vexing and significant for sure, but the wins gave hope. Facebook is actually a great place to work." So as you can see, the media, I think, blows everything out of proportion, obviously, because they have to get their clicks in, and they really, Facebook's often been scapegoated and just blamed for so many problems, and it's not a perfect place. I'm by no means defending them entirely. I think that there is a lot they need to work on, but as you can see, at least from Sumed's perspective here, they are getting around to it. Okay, it might be frustrating that it's taking so long, and they should be doing a better job, but at least, trending in the right direction, hopefully. Facebook is actually a great place to work. The people are sharp-driven and well-meaning. Teams are given quite a bit of creative autonomy. Those who are most concerned about Facebook's responsibility to the world, in turn, feel the most responsible to stay. They know they must be the ones to speak up when Facebook is off track. So check out the rest of that thread if you're interested. He makes some really good points. So this kind of ties into the next major bear argument. So I think that this definitely is something to keep tabs on. The company has had its share of controversies, and this is going to kind of segue into the next bear argument, which is how, they have too many scandals. But I think it's definitely something to keep tabs on. But I think it's important to not let the media's often skewed take on things get blown out of proportion. Facebook is by no means a perfect company. So obviously Facebook scandals, I don't need to talk too much about. They've been plagued by many over the past decade. But it is interesting to see, despite all this, and, Facebook being, I believe, Yahoo Finance's most hated company of the year. Love the hate. Be greedy when others are fearful, the guy up on the wall said. But despite all this, year-to-date, Facebook is still up a whopping 28%. So they must be doing something right. Now, the remaining two bear arguments, then we're going to briefly look at Facebook's finances and what I'm most excited for with this company. People also believe Apple may be better positioned to win in the long run, or other companies as well, but Apple's a big one. But at this point in time, I think they're way behind. I mean, Facebook has the first mover advantage here. They should be able to stay ahead for the next at least 3 to 5 years. I mean, this Oculus didn't happen overnight. This was an acquisition that they made years ago. So for Apple to really give them a run for their money in the metaverse, it's going to take a very long time. And Facebook won't be sitting still for the next 3 to 5 years. They're going to keep going with this. I mean, they named the company to Meta Platforms, for God's sake. The other bear argument is that Apple's new App Store or iOS policies are hurting Facebook's ad revenue. So Apple's already stealing Facebook's lunch. When David Fisher, the chief revenue officer, left, his exit came as Facebook geared up for privacy changes to Apple's iOS that made it more difficult for the company to deliver personalized ads. These are legitimate concerns. Now let's get to the positives. The future of Facebook is Oculus. Since I've been talking about it on the channel here, decided I had to give it a try myself, and this technology is incredible. This is the future. They're going to sell millions of these. This is the future of Meta platforms right here. This is the Oculus Quest 2. It is truly incredible. You got to try it out if you haven't already. So here's a reason to be excited. In December 26th note, analyst Justin Patterson wrote that Oculus was a top 5 entertainment app in 5 countries and a top 10 overall app in the US on Christmas Eve, and that the ranking was even greater on Christmas Day as it was the #1 overall app in the US. The #1 overall app. A lot of people got an Oculus for Christmas, it sounds like. Facebook, or Meta, is going to sell millions of these. This will be a huge boost to their revenue, and this is just the beginning. I mean, Facebook is the leading metaverse company right now. If we look at Facebook's financials here, you can see their revenue has just been increasing every year, and just imagine what's going to happen here when the Oculus really takes off. up to $85 billion in revenue in 2020, steadily increasing each year. In 2021, they are on track to bring in well over $100 billion of revenue. Through the first 3 quarters, they're sitting at around $86 billion. So when you factor in all those Oculus sales for Christmas, I think that they are going to break $100 billion in revenue with ease. Much of that is gross profit too. Their profit margins are insane. I think this is a well-capitalized company, and I'm very excited to see what they're going to do with the metaverse here. So with Meta, you're definitely getting a higher risk, higher reward investment, I would say, when you compare it to companies like Apple, Google, Amazon, their other FANG counterparts. So there's definitely some things to keep an eye on, but the Oculus is the future. I mean, this thing is incredible. I'm already hearing it from so many people, and now I can personally attest to it. It's way more fun than, playing Xbox. You're getting exercise. There's so many different applications for this. I mean, there's exercise programs on there that you can sign up for monthly subscriptions. You could get your workouts in with the Oculus. The applications I think are really going to be endless here. I mean, you could train someone to fly a plane with this thing. That's how great this technology is going to be. So I think the Oculus is exactly what Facebook needs to take itself to the next level. They can really, pioneer the way and establish the metaverse infrastructure. It'll reduce their reliance on Apple. I mean, the Oculus being the #1 app on Christmas, that's all you really need to know. Sometimes, investing is not as complicated as it seems. I mean, they've got a great product here, and I think the future is bright because it's a great addition to an already flourishing business. So let me know what you think of Meta in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like, subscribe, drop me a comment below if you have any questions. This is Vinny from the Investment Club, and I'll see you next time.